Do you think that the Lakers have navigated LeBron's absence the best they possibly could? And I think he's still
So,
got more time coming up.
yeah, but he's day to day now, and he should be back. I'm going to end up having nailed this exactly, as is quite often the case when it comes to, again, I'm not an insider. I don't have sources. I just have great gut instinct. And when it comes to the Chiefs and the Lakers, and when it comes to things like Mahomes or LeBron's injuries, when they happen, folks should probably listen to me. And the day after the LeBron injury, I did an emergency pod and I said, I think the Lakers need to be planning on LeBron missing on the high end 10 games. And that I said I would anticipate that he should be returning. My guess was that he would be returning before their game in Chicago Thursday, March 27th. It now appears that my updated guess would be LeBron is going to return right around Thursday, March 27th, maybe a few days earlier. Thankfully, for my own purposes, he should be definitely back by Saturday, March 29th, which is the game against the Grizzlies. Now, as far as them navigating it, when I looked at the 10 games that I thought they might not have LeBron, I said the goal is to go 6-4. Going 5-5 is acceptable. Anything worse is a problem. They started with a loss in a game that you hoped they could have won, the Brooklyn game, but that Brooklyn game was, a highly problematic loss, especially because Luka did play. And so that put them behind the 8 ball. You anticipated they were going to lose to Milwaukee. They did. You anticipated they were going to lose to Denver. They almost stole that game without Luka. But then they had to beat Phoenix. They had to beat San Antonio, and they did. And now, so they started off 0-3, and I said 6-4 was the goal. They're now 2-3. And again, if we're going to use the 10 games as a level set, home for Denver, home for Milwaukee in a back-to-back, home for Chicago, at Orlando, at Indiana. I look at home for Chicago, at Orlando, and at Indiana as the games they've got to have. And if somehow you can steal one of the Denver-Milwaukee games, and they've played really well against Denver, and they beat Denver when they were at when the Lakers, before LeBron's injury, and they damn near beat them when they were without LeBron, Luka, Rui, Jackson Hayes, Dorian Finney-Smith, Gabe Vincent. 6 of their top 8. But so yes, I think that they're fine, and I will take it a step further. What Austin Reaves has done during this stretch and what Luka's done during this stretch has made the Lakers look even more dangerous when LeBron gets back. The other thing that's happened is this. The teams they're chasing, other than the Rockets, none of them are red hot. Now, the Rockets have won 7 in a row, but the Lakers, despite that 4-game losing streak, they are sitting there at 25 losses. The Rockets have 25. The Nuggets have 25, thanks to, more on the Nuggets in a moment, because that Nuggets-Warriors game last night was interesting. The Lakers have 25, and then the Grizzlies are sitting there at 26, and the Warriors, who some people were like, oh, could the Warriors climb up? The Warriors, given the loss last night to a Nuggets team without Jokic or Murray, and then Steve Kerr talking about Steph potentially sitting out sometime, the Warriors question is, are they going to fall back a seed into the play-in? Not are they going to climb into the 5 line? But the Lakers are still just sitting there, basically tied with Memphis, but a game up in the loss column, and tied in the loss column with the Rockets and Nuggets. So seeding-wise, they've been fine. We are seeing how important it is in case you didn't already know, for any team with Luka Doncic to just have one viable lob threat because Jackson Hayes all of a sudden, is looks like a $15 million a year player just by catching lobs from Luka. And man, oh man, is Austin Reaves a hell of an asset and a hell of a player. And I understand the internet on my behalf this week, took a bit of a victory lap for me about my Austin Reaves, Bradley Beal take from 15 months ago. What's the meme? They called me a madman. Guys, here's one of the benefits of watching basketball. You know more than people who don't. And I'm not going to act like I had been watching a ton of Wizards and Bradley Beal, and I like Bradley Beal personally. But I had watched enough that I knew he is not at all what the Suns need, and he is significantly on the downside, and he doesn't really fit within that team. Needed strong point guard play and a bigger post presence. What they didn't need was another version of the exact player they have. Like, the reason I never liked, and we're going to get more on the Suns in a bit, but I'm interrupting myself. I'm bouncing around. Excited to talk to you guys today. So it was not surprising at all that Austin Reaves was a better third option than Bradley Beal. What has been surprising is Austin Reaves has made it really clear he could be a second option on a decent team. Like, third option on an excellent team, but a second option on a decent team. And here is my real question about because LeBron is watching all of this, processing all of it, and T1000 style, figuring out the best way for him to play when he gets back. Seeing not only how Luka's playing, but how Austin is playing as the secondary ball handler, similar to how Austin played as the secondary ball handler when LeBron was in Luka's role before they got Luka. I do wonder if when LeBron comes back, he's going to take a lot more reps. Say it again. What were you about to say?
I was about to say just sit in the wing. Just take the wing spot.
Well, you're almost to where I was. I was going to say a lot more reps as a traditional power forward. Okay. But where it is, like the Brew has talked about this before, almost the Karl Malone role, and the NBA's changed, so that role now kind of is out on the wing, not in the low post. But I'm just going to be a scorer. I'm going to be a scorer, defender, and rebounder, and not so much of a distributor, because Luka obviously needs the ball in his hands, and Austin's been so good. And so the Lakers, I thought the best loss of the NBA season was the Lakers' loss to the full-strength Nuggets. And then the Lakers clearly, I thought, from their own play, were a little invigorated by that, because then they blew the doors off Phoenix. I know they only won by 11, but they were up 20 immediately and annihilated San Antonio last night. And now they're going to get LeBron back in the next 10 days at the latest, and the stretch run gets going. This episode of What's Right is brought to you by Daya Pizza, featuring dairy-free cheese made with their new Daya Oat Cream Blend. Dairy-free cheese has come a long way. Daya's leading the charge. Their pizzas offer the melt and stretch of traditional cheese without any dairy. Each Daya pizza starts with a perfectly crisp crust, layered with savory, satisfying toppings, and finished with cheese that melts and stretches beautifully. The Daya Oat Cream Blend delivers a creamy, cheesy texture that's indistinguishable from dairy-based options. Every pizza is crafted to be dairy-free, making it a great choice for anyone seeking more inclusive meal options without compromising on taste. Daya takes the concept of dairy-free to a new level, eliminating faux moo. That is not the fear of cows. That is the fear of missing dairy. These pizzas deliver delicious taste and texture, making them perfect for any occasion, from casual dinners to game day spreads. Enjoy a faux moo free pizza night with Daya. Visit DayaFoods.com for more information, or find Daya Pizza at retailers like Whole Foods, Kroger, and Walmart. Coming soon to select Publix and Sprouts. Follow Daya on Instagram and TikTok for more updates and recipes.
To folks that are saying that LeBron's faking it,
So this is just kind of a tale as old as time with LeBron, which is folks will find a way to be wrong. Folks so badly want to find ways to take shots or poke at this guy that they will find ways to be wrong on both sides of the equation. So two very, very prominent voices in basketball media, right after the LeBron injury, said, oh, I mean, he's probably done for the rest of the regular season. In Barkley and Simmons. Both of them. Simmons like, no, he's probably done for the rest of the regular season. Probably not going to be eligible for All-NBA. Barkley said that, he's not going to play again this year until the playoffs, all of it. And then a week later, they're throwing out there, and Barkley hasn't done this, but Bill did. Are we sure he actually got hurt? Or did LeBron in that Celtics game, which is now being framed as, oh, he knew they were going to lose, that game was over, even though it's a 4-point game with 5 minutes left, knew the schedule, knew Bryce, might be playing for a state championship, needs some time being a little PTO, and just, is faking essentially the injury. As opposed to Occam's razor, the most obvious, the simplest answer is usually the right one. The most obvious answer is usually the right one. I might have got Occam's razor there wrong a bit. There's a little irony in that. Or maybe the guy who's played more minutes of NBA basketball than any human being alive, one of only 2 guys to ever make it to year 22, the oldest player in the league, a 40-year-old, tweaked a soft tissue injury in a game where he had to play center against the defending champs, moving up and down the court. I think that probably makes more sense.
Even if the man wasn't, even if he was, I don't want to say faking it, but kind of like taking like a load management type of thing to prepare for the run. They're about to have a deep run. The guy's 40 years old. I feel like if anybody.
Oh, I think that would have been totally allowed. Yeah,
right.
I agree. Okay. But that's not what happened.
Go.
He tweaked his groin. Now,
Right.
I also didn't believe, again, just listen to me on this stuff, guys. I didn't believe the fatalistic, oh man, he could be out a month stuff. And the reason I didn't was because LeBron talked after the game. And LeBron was not despondent. LeBron was not beside himself. But he's like, I got to work it out and figure out where I'm at. Which is why it felt like this would be a 2 to 3 week injury at the most. And that's what it is. I think the Lakers, though, right now, and we'll get to these teams shortly, I am downgrading the Nuggets. The Nuggets/Warriors. I'm kind of upgrading the Warriors, downgrading the Nuggets. And to me, in the Western Conference, it is Oklahoma City and the Lakers on their own tier of contention, and then Nuggets Warriors on their own tier beneath them of contention, and then everyone else. Everyone else is kind of just Minnesota and Memphis as their own little not really contenders, but maybe. All right, let's talk about
in Houston.
Listen. I think
it's young.
They're young, and I don't think they have the guy yet. Şengün's awesome, but you can't give him the ball in the playoffs and be like, get me a bucket. Not yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so Van Vliet's a nice player. And listen, they have a great coach. They've won 7 in a row. They're the 2 seed right now. They deserve a lot of respect. But can I see them? I think they are, and I bet everyone listening agrees with me. I think Houston is way more likely to lose in round 1 than to make, forget the NBA finals, the conference finals. I think they're I think it would be a great season for them to win a round. A great season to win a round. And if they lose in the first round, I don't think it means this wasn't an excellent season. Like, these are the steps you've got to take. So no, I don't consider them. If I were to break the probable Western Conference playoff teams into pairings, it would be Oklahoma City and the Lakers, Group 1, Denver and the Warriors, Group 2, Minnesota and Memphis, Group 3, and the Clippers and the Rockets, Group 4. And I understand people, you might be hearing that, be like, man, the Rockets, you have the Rockets beneath Minnesota. I do. Because I saw Minnesota make a conference finals last year. Right. And you have Anthony Edwards who's going, and so even though, like, it's not like they're a perfect team and they have their guy. And so I do wonder if Houston, sorry to get off on a little Houston tangent, I do wonder if Houston could be an interesting home for Kevin Durant in the offseason. I think that's, I would certainly put
not too far from
Houston and Minnesota as possible Kevin Durant destinations.